bus was late again. You didn't mind. You leaned against the pole, watching clouds like they mattered. I stood beside you, close enough to feel your sleeve brush mine. You said nothing, but your silence was the kind that stays. Some days I don't know what I need until I see your hands and wish they were in mine. It's not about grand things, sometimes just the warmth is enough. Hold your hand when the streets are loud, when my thoughts won't sit still, in the middle of errands, in between words, not to say something, not to fix anything, just to feel that we are still here, still choosing this. You held it first once on a random day. I pretended not to freeze, but it melted something I didn't know I'd kept cold. Now every time I reach for you, it's not habit, it's home. No one teaches this, how to ask for touch without saying a word. Hold your hand when the lights are low, when dinner's half cold, when you're laughing or when you're not sure. No reason, no ceremony, just because I love you in all the in-between. Some Tuesdays are saved by a single touch. Hold your hand as we walk nowhere, as the sky turns gray. Let the hours pass, let the world spin, as long as you're here and your hands in mine. This is enough. You stood by the door, keys already in hand, and the sky outside was starting to look like it hadn't decided yet whether to shine or pour. I watched the steam rise from the mugs we forgot we made 5 minutes ago, and asked not too loud, can you stay a little longer? Not because the coffee was good, not because we had anything urgent left to say, but because I wasn't done with the way your presence made the air feel softer. Some mornings aren't meant to be rushed, they're meant to be found in the quiet clink of a spoon and the warmth of someone still there. waiting with all its calls and tasks and clocks. But in here we can still be two people who forget that time exists. Just for one more song on the speaker we both pretend not to like. And when you finally leave, I won't ask for anything more. I'll just remember how staying for something small felt so big. You don't need a reason to make someone feel loved. Sometimes you just need to stay for coffee, not to fix us, not to relive us, but to remind me that comfort isn't loud. It's you reaching for your cup with both hands, sitting across from me like it still matters. Pray for coffee and I'll pour you warmth, not just from the kettle, but from everything. I never got the timing right to say. Stay and let the morning last a little longer than it should. I thought I'd already missed you to the fullest the morning you left. The way your shoes tapped down the hall, your scent trailing in the air like a gentle apology, and the door shutting softly like it was trying not to be a goodbye. I sat there with the light on, though the sun was already rising. Your cup was still on the counter, half full, half forgotten, just like the plans we made for next weekend. But somehow I keep finding new ways to miss you, in places I didn't expect, in the creak of my floor, in the slowness of songs we used to hum. Missing you isn't a moment, it's a rhythm now, and every hour plays a different version of it. Miss you more when my hands have nothing to hold, when laughter falls but no one turns to catch it. I miss you in the space between sounds and the pause before sleep, in the way silence no longer feels soft, and just when I think I felt it all, I miss you more. They say time smooths things out, but I've only grown sharper to the absence you left. I know what you'd say if you saw this mess, how you joke and then clean it anyway. I still pour your tea out of habit, still check my phone around the hour you used to call. And no, I'm not waiting, but I guess I still hope some moments might echo enough to sound like you. This isn't heartbreak, it's something slower, something that grows in the quiet of routines you once filled. Miss you more when nothing happens, when everything happens, when the sun glows too much and I can't show it to you, when I laugh too loud and no one rolls their eyes, when I forget something only you remembered. Every day adds more to the ways I miss you. Miss you more, not like a wound, but like a favorite line that only made sense when you were here. And though I carry you in all the smallest places, I still find room to miss you more. When did I do? Da 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 da. Da da da. You didn't arrive with a bang, no fireworks, no sudden spark, no breathless. I knew it from the start. You came like quiet mornings after too many restless nights, like the way light spills without asking permission. I didn't notice at first, too used to love that came running but left faster than it came. Too used to the ache of holding on too tightly to people already leaving. But you didn't pull or chase. You waited, you stayed, you asked me how I was, even when I didn't know. And maybe love isn't about who shouts the loudest, but who listens when your voice barely rises. Love comes slow in late replies and half smiles and shoulders that lean in without needing words. It shows up in empty cups refilled in hands that don't rush, in the stillness between two breaths, where everything feels okay. Love doesn't need to hurry, it just needs to mean it. You learn my rhythms like a song with no chorus. You let me be quiet. You never fill the silence just to fill it. And slowly I started saving spaces for you. A drawer, a toothbrush, a side of the bed I no longer stretched across. And when you held my hand, it didn't feel like a victory. It felt like something that had always been yours to find. I used to think love needed grand entrances, but now I know the ones that last come in whispers. Love comes slow, like rain on rooftops, like books left open, like calling someone home without ever using that word. It's in the drive safe, the text me when you're there, the way you remembered. I hate morning light in my eyes. Love waits not because it's unsure, but because it's gentle. Some kinds of love bloom like wildflowers, not in haste, but in trust. Love comes slow, but when it does, it stays. It doesn't knock down doors, it builds them. It sits beside you when the world is too much. It breathes with you, not over you. And suddenly everything small feels full again. You always said you'd come by around 9. Not sharp, never sharp, but just somewhere in the warm stretch between the day we left behind and the quiet we're both learning to love. So I light the same candle, put on the playlist we don't name, and wait, not with impatience, but with the comfort of knowing you always show up. The clock ticks like it's humming a secret, and I hum along, because some hearts don't need reminders, they just remember. Some evenings bloom, not with fireworks, but with the sound of footsteps on the stairs you promised you'd climb. Wait till night and the world slows down. Wait till night and I breathe deeper and so do I. There's nothing urgent, this, no confessions waiting on my lips, no arguments rehated from the day, just 2 mugs on the counter, one of them yours, the kind of waiting that feels like staying still in all the right ways, where love is a routine, not a performance. I rehearse how I'll smile even though it's always the same. Every time you arrive, a little shy, a little too happy for someone who's already yours. You make the ordinary feel like a celebration that no one else is invited to. Wait till night and the lights glow warmer. Wait till night and the quiet hums your name. There's nothing grand about tonight, and yet I've dressed like it matters, 'cause it does. You do, and I'll always be here, and the hour leans towards you. Wait till night and everything feels closer. Wait till 9 and you remind me why I never mind waiting. Not all loves arrive early, but the ones that do come are always worth the You never call out, it's never urgent, never rings more than twice. You just let it buzz once, like a whisper in the pocket. And somehow I know you're not calling to fix anything, you're calling to exist near me. Your voice comes through like warm air through the vents on a tired day. No hours work, no checklist of things to say, just a soft hey and a silence that settles like a shared blanket between us. Sometimes love doesn't arrive with answers, it just shows up with presence. Call me softly when you're not sure what's wrong, when you just want someone on the other end breathing with you. Call me softly, no need for stories, no need for strength. Let your silence curl into mine and we'll be okay for a while longer. I used to think love had to be loud, that it had to shout from rooftops, run barefoot through the rain, make grand declarations in the middle of the night. But then came your voice, measured and quiet, asking if I'd eaten, if I'd slept, if I needed someone to listen to the things I hadn't found words for yet. And now those quiet moments feel louder than any poem I've ever read aloud. You don't need to sing when the silence already hums your care. Call me softly when the street lights blur, when your thoughts get tangled. Call just to hear the comfort of breathing shared. No advice, no fixing, just the sound of someone still with captions, no promises, carved into barcode bracelets. But on that rainy platform, when you stood 2 steps away and still smiled like home, I knew what this was. No one else had to know how your hand brushed mine, just long enough to say everything. No one saw how your eyes waited an extra second when you left. Some loves don't belong in headlines, they live in glances and quiet departures that mean I'll be back. Hide our names, but never the way we feel. We don't need labels to know what's real. Let the world wonder who we are to each other. Let them guess we already know what it means to choose someone silently. At cafes we sit apart, but order the same thing. You always glance at the chair I picked just to make sure it's near. And when your phone lights up at 2 a.m. with no name, just a period, just a sigh, you know it's me saying, can we just talk? We're not hiding because we're scared, we're quiet because what we have doesn't need applause. Love doesn't have to be loud to be brave. Sometimes it just has to stay. Hide our names, but leave the lights on low. Let us be the story that nobody else can know. Not a secret, just sacred. Not invisible, just ours. Some connections glow without needing to shine. Hide our names, but never a truth. Call it what you want, it won't change the proof. We're written between the lines, held in the pauses. No title, no need. Only love, only they, them. The rain had stopped, but the window still held its memory. Tiny streaks sliding down like sentences we hadn't said yet. You sat by the sink, elbows on the counter, and asked, do you want tea? Not are you okay? Not let's talk about it. Just tea. And in that small offer, I heard your heart wrapped in a cup with both hands open. Some conversations don't need words, just the willingness to stay after the storm has passed. Talk after rain when the world's gone quiet, when hearts feel softer and the truth's less sharp. Talk without edges, just the warmth of being heard, just your voice like sunlight returning through a fogged window. You didn't ask for apologies, you didn't need me to explain why I'd been distant or where my thoughts had run to. You just talked about the soup you ruined last night, about the dream you couldn't finish, and little by little I added things too. A joke, a sigh, a glance that said thank you, because sometimes healing sounds like two people letting silence go. We didn't solve anything, to cry anymore. I just needed to hear you talk, like everything was still ours. Talk after rain, like breathing again, like finding each other where the silence ends. Hold me, not with arms, but with every word. You don't rush, you don't force, you just let come gently. You never bought roses, never rented rooftops, never planned surprises you couldn't afford. Instead you washed the dishes before I asked. You left the lamp on nights I got home late. You learned how I take my toast without ever making a big deal about it. And somehow in the quietest gestures you built something I could lean on. We never called it perfect, but we called it ours, and that was always enough. Keep things small, like notes on the fridge, like brushing my hair back as I talk. Let love live if the middle of a weekday, in shared playlists in the pause before you say goodnight, but don't quite hang up. You don't write me poems, you remember my dentist appointments. You never say forever out loud, you just show up again and again, until I stop wondering if you ever won't. And I used to want the kind of love that burned, the kind that turned everything gold. But now I crave whatever this is, the way your shoes wait by mine, the way we hum the same line at the same time without noticing. Some loves write sonnets, ours writes grocery list and leaves space for ice cream on tired days. Keep things small and I'll remember it all. The tea that was too sweet, the movie you always fall asleep to. Let's not chase fireworks, let's just light the room with a soft lamp and each other's breathing.
It doesn't have to be more, just real.
Keep things small, like warm laundry, like holding hands during traffic lights. Love doesn't need a spotlight, just two people who stay quietly until morning. You came home late, coat half down, eyes carrying more weight than your hands. You didn't say a word, you didn't need to. I scooted over on the couch, left a space just wide enough for everything you didn't want to explain. And then when you sat quiet, soft breathing shoulder to shoulder, it felt like love without effort. without noise. You don't have to smile, you don't have to speak, just be, that's all I ask of you tonight. Lean into me when the world forgets your name. Lean into me when you're tired of being strong. Let your silence rest here, let your weight mean trust. You don't have to hold it alone, I've got room for you always. You used to apologize for falling apart, now you just sigh and let the storm pass while I hold the quiet steady. I used to fill every space with reassurances, with words meant to fix, but now I know sometimes the truest comes